Hi guys, welcome to another fishing episode. Finally this day has arrived. Today will be my first time fly fishing ever. Really excited about it. A bit nervous, a bit afraid, to be honest. Not to make mistakes, because anyways they will come. It's the first time, but because I kind of have quite high expectations from fly fishing in general. A lot of people around have been telling me you have to start fly fishing. This is something completely different, something unique, different feelings. You will get more bites with it, and I'm kind of a bit afraid that I will not manage to get my impression from fly fishing from the first time, because it will take some time to find the proper flies, to get the grip on the technique, and on top of that it's not the first time as I'm fishing, so I know that in certain cases fly fishing deliver more than spin fishing. On the other hand, it was not rare that I was getting more fish with my spin fishing rod compared to the guys standing around with the fly fishing. So the journey starts to explore fly fishing, to compare it with spin fishing. Let's try it. But before starting, let me go through a bit the gear that I will be using today. A couple of words about considerations about choosing it. So initially I was thinking like this: it goes pretty well with sea trout fishing in spring and autumn with spin fishing, but when it becomes warmer, summer, it gets a bit tough. Fish goes away to deeper areas, so I was thinking that it can be a good time to fish stocked trout in lakes, and over there fly fishing with a sinking line and with the boobies work pretty well. But on the other hand, to cast the floating line with the fly to see how the fish jumps and grabs the fly, it's really amazing. And also to be able to fish with that floating line on the coastline in shallow water. That's why I started to look into the fishing rod with a floating line. And there were a couple of options, either to go with a cheap combo or to buy something decent. I started to look on something decent and costly, but I didn't want to spend money on something that I don't understand and probably buy something that I will not like. Then was looking into cheap combos. The idea was just to buy something to learn and to try. But then talked to my friend Roger from Fiskelika, and he basically told me that the most important in fly fishing is the line, and you will never get a good line in those cheap combos. So I looked back into a decent stuff, and finally I bought this one. So it's a rod guideline stoked, probably the most classical size, 9 feet. I was choosing between the class 5 and 6 and decided to buy class 6 because class 7 goes more for salmon, for pike, class 4 goes for perch, class 5 is good for sea trout, but I wanted to fish, for example, in wind. That's what we have here on the west coast. Also to use this rod for stocked rainbow trout fishing, quite decent size. So I decided to buy class number 6. The reel is guideline reach. Can't really say anything about it. If you have some reflection, just leave it in the comments to this video. And then it comes the line. So on the reel I have a classical back-in, then the main line. When I was buying the line, I chose guideline bullet 2.0. From the name you may guess that this is a very nice line for long casts, to fish in strong wind, to make nice casts. It was not in stock. I was offered a couple of other options, then we were discussing, and finally I made the choice on guideline coastal evolve. And again, from the name it says that it's a line appropriate for coastal fishing. There are two modifications of this line: intermediate slow and intermediate fast, with slower and faster sinking properties. So I chose intermediate slow to be able to fish in shallower water on the coastline where I can't fish with my spin fishing gear, to be able to fish stocked trout in a bit warmer conditions, to be able to present the fly a bit slower and more careful for that picky trout. So that's the line. For the leader, it's classics tapered monofilament leader. Then I have a tippet ring and a fluorocarbon leader, and my streamer fly in black, green and a bit of red color. And I'm also using a teaser fly attached to a tippet ring, really tiny fly, not to disturb casting. That's what I have. Let's try to get some fish. Alright, let me see. Let's get a bit of the casting line. Yes, so we get the casting line the same length as the rod. Let's get a bit more and let's try to make the first cast. Well, not bad. So what I learned from the internet is to make movement of the rod to clock 10, clock 2, clock 10, clock 2, and then release more and more the casting line. Where is my fly? I just lost my fly somewhere. Probably it got snagged over the stones, or I didn't take any spare flies today, just forgot. Let me see if I managed to find this fly somewhere here. No, honestly. Really epic fail from my side, but I have my spin fishing rod with me. Well, let's continue with spin fishing instead. No. Fish on. In the net. Yes. First fish of the day on the spin fishing rod. That's the fish that I was supposed to catch on the fly fishing rod, but probably next time. Alright, I've caught the fish on this Savage Gear Seeker ISP in a dark color that you have seen a lot in my videos, and in general I fish a lot with Savage Gear lures. Not because I try to advertise this company, but because it's just I like it. I'm not affiliated with any producer of fishing gear. I'm confident I will catch more fish with this, because there is a lot of sandeel right now in the water that have similar color. But I would like to try another lure that can also deliver fish now in the autumn. Westin F360 degrees in copper color. And this lure, similarly to that Savage Gear Seeker ISP, also flips on spin stops. So basically similar action, but Westin has a nice copper color, so I have it in my lure box. Let's try to fish with it. You know what, guys? I'm just realizing right now that I'm fishing and having a nice shrimp teaser fly on my spin fishing rod, and I can take it out and put it on my fly fishing rod where I lost my fly. So let's just do it. I'll try to get out shrimp teaser fly from my spin fishing rod. Yes, that was pretty smooth because it was sitting on the dropper loop. And now we make a new knot. Let's keep these traces of fluorocarbon line because they will not degrade here in nature if I just cast it like this. Here we have our fly on a loop knot. Let's try again, fly fishing. Yeah, that worked actually. Ah, the fly hits the rod. Right, a bit better this time. Fish on! Ah! No way! No way! No way, guys. The first fish on the fly rod. Yeah! Oh my god. Oh my god. That's a very nice sea trout. Beautiful one. Let it go. And I got it on this really tiny teaser fly. I don't remember the name of the fly, so we'll leave it in the description to the video. Awesome! Let's continue hammering. It was not the best cast, honestly, but it worked. the water is like a mirror, and it will be harder to catch some sea trout, but let's try to get one more. Two o'clock, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Right, last cast with the fly fishing rod, then we'll try again spin fishing. I'm thinking to borrow the teaser fly from the fly rod to the spin fishing rod and fish a bit with it. Okay, now it's done. Had to cut my dropper loop to fit the line into the eye of the hook because the hook is quite small. Ah, it was a bite. Fish on. Ah. Here we are. No. Yes. Nice. Look at it, it has eaten something recently. I will grab my fly. All right. Here it goes. Time to quit this chaotic fishing session. Unfortunately, it didn't go according to plan, but the most important is I managed to get my first sea trout on the fly fishing rod. That's awesome. A few reflections about it. It really helps to put the rod like 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock, 2 o'clock, 10 o'clock. Then the line goes a bit better. It's also quite important to wait until the line goes all the way back and then you shoot it in front, and it also gives a bit better casts. But I feel that the arm is tired. It's other muscles that work here for casting. Unfortunately, I lost some precious minutes in the morning when fixing the rods, so hopefully next time I will grab 2 rods right away, start earlier, and hopefully we get more fish. Thanks for watching, and hope to see you again in another, probably even more interesting fishing episode.